In a world with many similarities to our own, there lies two planets that are both experiencing societal turmoil. One of them, the planet Remus, there lies a town named Hazel that is on the outskirts of one of the busiest cities on the planet. While society is strained with cultural change, in this town, there are beings that no one has seen and struggle not to be found as time goes on. The following is the story of some of the people who end up finding them through no fault of their own. This is Hazeltown Story. Okay, so welcome back to Hazeltown Story. I am here with Team MISC, and we are actually going to be starting an arc proper for the first time in months. So last episode, which I highly suggest if you have not listened to that one, I highly suggest you do because it gives some backstory on what this thing's all about, and also answer some questions that if you've been a long-time listener that you might have about what's going on with this reboot. And also, if you're new to this series, that it explains what's going on generally with the series as a whole. So there is that. So before we continue, let me go ahead and let our players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Carnival. I'll be playing Elmis Grenier for this bit.
I am, of course, Death Master Bobby.
Can you repeat that? Actually, I think the recording might have been in Discord screw up.
Me or Carnival?
DM.
You.
Yep.
I am, of course, Death Master 780, and I will be playing Bobby.
And I'm TorpidTypist, and I'll be playing Aravia.
Okie dokie. So, last time, we did a little bit of a teaser on what was going on. What's going to be going on with this arc, but this is going to be a bit of a simpler one, kind of just a bit of a refresher to get us back in the saddle. So, what I plan to do for this one is, let's just say, like, as this might be just a question for how the group works, since you're not really, like, you're kind of a group in terms of, like, not like, you're not structured, like, you don't have, like, a sign. Like, you just kind of are known as, like, a collective of people that can get stuff done. Go ahead.
Is your question how we're interfacing with the world?
Well, it was actually going to be more, how, I think you all are kind of just doing your own thing at the time, right? Like, you're not all just hanging around at one place.
I mean, Aravia stays at Elmis's home, so...
Who would you say, if someone wanted to get in contact with you, let's kind of hash out who should be the person
Bobby.
to do that?
He's the only one in the group who's, like, forward moving.
This is true.
Yeah, I would imagine it's Bobby that gets people together.
Okay, so how would people get in contact with you to, like, get stuff organized?
Well, it depends on how they know him. Like, in the case of Meryl, like, they already know him, so they just show up while he's at, like, one of his offices.
Okay, so they'd come into an office?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's the case. We're gonna start this out.
Gotta meet with Bob B's incredibly handsome secretary.
Well, I don't think there is a secretary at what's the name of your burger place again?
It's Bobby's Burger.
So, you're there. You're at your office doing your normal stuff that you do in that office, legitimate or not. But all of a sudden, or you're just in there and you get a knock at the door.
Yes.
As you open up, or as you are sitting there, door opens up, and in comes walking in. Here is my description. So in comes walking in a. Just trying to think. Where are you on the? I got the pare down my NPC list, so I'm trying to figure out where people are because it's still in the order of the last time. Oh right, wow! I didn't put any sort of descriptor. Great. In comes walking in like a goat person, kind of like around 6 foot tall, fairly muscular, not like bodybuilder, but like muscular for being like not, but like kind of thinner, like more really toned.
Like a gymnast?
kind of. Let's go with that. They are wearing like nothing like they're not. It's not like ragged, but it's like they came in jeans and like a t-shirt, something rather casual, but also not like dirty or anything. And they kind of walk in kind of nonchalantly, just kind of made sure to get into the door quickly though, as to not like kind of hang out and to close the door a little bit.
They are also a goat person.
Yes.
Quickly, nonchalantly, yes.
Yes. Well, that kind of they win the door. Yeah. Goat person, dark, like black, kind of would look kind of like a for like a good visual comparison. They're like, what if Baphomet was like a punk?
I see when you said black goat person, I'm like, ah, yes, a Baphomet. So I'm glad I didn't need to say that.
Nope. Yeah, it's there. If you want a good visual, like punk Baphomet is basically a good way, but with white hair, like white long hair.
All right.
And yeah,
Bobby,
they're in the door. Yep.
Bobby looks up from his desk, then raises his head and says, "Meryl, what brings you this way?"
Well, I need you. I need the people don't know what the hell to call you. I need your group to kind of be on the lookout for something for me because don't exactly know what the problem is, but there's something that has been causing a little bit of a stir, and I'm kind of curious what it is, but I don't want to go ahead and investigate on our end because it might raise some flags. But if your group could, I need you to kind of just look into something for me because it's causing a little bit of a stir, and I don't know exactly. Getting a lot of flaky responses from some of the people in like Cassiopeia and Centaurus, and they're being very vague in terms of answering or like what the problem is. So I'd like to know a little bit more about what this problem is and if it's something we need to be concerned about.
I see. And what is this thing that we're looking for?
Well, this is going to be a slight problem because I'm not exactly sure what it is because I've just been hearing word about something that they're calling Elysium, I believe.
I see. And when you say the group, do you mean the group or the group?
Well, let's just say the one that not just you, not your group, the group you're in.
I see. Well, you know the arrangement. He rubs his fingers together.
They reach in their back pocket and they pull out some money and hand it over.
Bobby smiles, opens up a drawer and just quickly sets it in. All right, this Elysium. Tell me what you know.
All right. So what I've been able to kind of like piece together is it's something. It is an object. I have no idea what this object is. And what I am gathering is it is something that should be in someone's possession. I'm going to assume either Cassiopeia or Centaurus because they're the ones that seem to be concerned that it's gone. They've told me that it's nothing to worry about, but it's something that they've been kind of fretting about the fact that they don't have this. They have not told me what it is. I'm going to assume that it's not some sort of. They don't tell me if it was like a computer disk or if it was some sort of computer thing. I don't know. It's something that they should have. They don't have. I don't know if it could be data on something. It could be like what they could have named like some notebook that they have on something. So I don't know what the sensitivity of this information is. I don't know if it got into someone's hand, how dangerous it could. Hell, it could be one of their drugs for all I know.
It's not one I've ever heard of, but which is it? Centaurus or Cassiopeia? Which one was supposed to have had it?
I believe that it, just judging from what I've been thinking, I believe it was originally Centaurus that Cassiopeia was holding on to them for a while.
Do you know who specifically in the group?
Well, what I was hearing from the Cassiopeia side, it was Reese Wilson, one of the treasurers for the group, is kind of one that was making a note that some of their members were a little bit concerned about it, whether or not that might cause ire between Cassiopeia, and Centaurus.
Can't say I'm familiar with that name. Do you have an address?
Sure. And they write down an address that there's somewhere in Hazeltown.
All right. I suppose one more thing. You suppose the opposition could be involved in any way?
That's what I'm possibly concerned about, but I don't know. I don't know if someone simply misplaced something, or let something go that they shouldn't have, or if it's something that they were trying, or if it's something that could be used against one of the other groups.
All right, then. I will call some of my people and we'll head up to Hazeltown, see what we can find. I'll let you know.
All right. They just kind of like nod and head out the door.
All right. Once they've left, Bobby will pick up the phone and ring up Elmis.
Yo, what's up?
Is the slab of beef with you?
I don't know, you tell me. Elvis holds the phone up and puts on speaker. It's Bobby.
Oh, fuck. Hang up.
Oh, you don't want to do that? I got some work for you.
I don't know about that. Still say you should hang up.
Well, if you decide to show up, he reads off the address for them. Be there as soon as you can.
All right, will do.
All right.
Okay, so actually before we start, because that was just to get introduced to what you're actually doing. So I think I should actually mention how the flow of this game works, because as I mentioned last time, this is a homebrew system that is based on a combination primarily of the Powered by the Apocalypse and Forged in the Dark systems. And the flow of how this works is, rather than going specifically scene by scene, the way kind of this works a little bit and this isn't exactly super strict, but it is kind of based on days. Days have a schedule of essentially you do a scene, and then, or there is a downtime, there's a scene, there's a downtime, there's a scene, and then there's a mini down. So just to explain for the folks at home what our system kind of works like in terms of game flow, we're going to kind of start this a little bit now now that we did the kind of introduction scene, how this, or now we're into the game proper. So since we always start with a downtime periods basically gives our players some time that they can either work on specific strengths that they're trying to work on, or do stuff to kind of help them with their certain tasks that they want to fulfill, or basically that. Actually, I do have the list here of what you can do. And basically, it is you can either work on getting an asset, usually something physical. You can work on a long-term project, which either means you want to work on something that can help the group as a whole, in particular building gadgets, for example. Yes. Technically, there's something involving rituals, but actually, I'm kind of thinking that we might need to excise that because it's never come up. That is another thing from Forged, I think.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
mean, I used it once.
we've used it once, and also, like, to be fair, I think we have a character now that might be using it more, or just because rituals are just like the magic side of doing gadget stuff. So
This is true. If your character is hurt, you can rest and recover. And you can also train for putting XP stuff. So, usually do this in alphabetical order. So, Carnival, you have 2 downtime actions. What would you like to do?
So first, well, actually, no. Let's see. I wanted to double check to make sure I didn't have a thing that gave me an extra downtime action because
Oh
no,
yeah, this is true.
no, that's a different character. But instead, we're going to start off by, I guess, at this point, Elmis is going to work on making a magic detector.
Okay.
That's designed to be like, more like you would make for like quick. You place these in like a smaller like magic detectors you would put like that are supposed to be hidden bug kind of things.
Okay. So, let's crafting. Okay, you explained what it did. So how are we talking? Like, are these really high quality ones? Or are you just kind of wanting to make them a little bit quick and dirty so you can have them, or do you want to like put some focus into it?
These are like designed to be like disposable things. Like you would put up one of these, like if we're like kind of like staking out on a place, you put a couple of these at the entrance. It'll record things, and that'll be like it. Cheap to make, cheap to replace, but not like super durable.
Okay. So basically what I'm gathering is you want to make a device that effectively works as a spy camera, but using are you essentially trying to do like a spy camera kind of thing?
Is it a camera or is it just something you trip?
It's like a trip.
Okay. So it's something that if there is a magical effect within a certain area so does it ring an alarm or how does it work?
It's supposed to like send a notification to like a thing in a separate place. So like say if we're outside, if something breaks in and starts firing magic off, we know, hey, we got an alert.
Okay. So effectively what I'm gathering, you want to think so you place the item, if it detects magic within its vicinity, whatever its range is, it will ping some sort of thing to notify that it's been pinged.
Yes, and it's supposed to be like designed to be like a small like spy bug kind of size, where it's like you put this in like in the inside of a book cover or something like that.
Okie dokie. Let me figure out how do I see Roll20 has changed their layout again. Oh, how do I do this? Wait, do I do it like this? My token. There they are. Progress token. Wait, did it place it? Why do I have the feeling that there's going to be like 4 tokens? Oh, there they are. Okay, only 2. So what are my options? You got, okay, 4-sided, 5-sided, 6-sided, 8-sided, 10-sided. Is that 12-sided? I think that's 12-sided. Let's call this an 8-sided.
All right, 8-step clock.
Well, let me label this magic detect.
We're still on the old fight screen if you want to like.
Oh, right. How do I do? Oh, grab. That should put you back on the main thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Detector. There we go. How do you have any pre-steps on that?
Yes, I do.
How many?
Whenever I start a long-term project during downtime that involves tinker or interface actions, fill 1+1 segment. And,
So you fill how many segments?
well, I gotta see how many I roll first, and then when I craft them, I can add an additional tick to any rolled increase. So basically, I'll get a 2+ to whatever the roll result is.
Okay, so add to the roll result.
Well, whatever the result is, because if it's like I forget where the
it's whatever. It's not. You're not adding like if you roll a 6, you don't get 8. You get whatever it is +4, so you get 6.
Yes. So time to roll tinker.
Okay, rolling tinker. Which what is your tinker?
3.
Okay, you have a tinker 3, so roll 3 die. Okay, 3, 2, and a 4. So that is a mixed success.
Yeah, but let's see. That's
Effectively.
Yeah, I forget how many ticks that
So
is.
that is 4 to 5 is 3 +3 progress, so you get a +5.
All right, that's a good start.
1. There you go.
And then I used my second downtime action to continue working on that.
All right. So go ahead and roll. 5, 1, 6. Okay, so that finished it off before the record. Since you rolled a 6, that's +4, so that's going to be +6, which you have already 5, so that's 11 on an 8, which means you're done.
All right.
So your first thing is we have added the fact that you now have the capability to work on. Oh, there's a problem. Okay, so let me mark down that you have access to. Wait, where's the? Oh, there we go. So long-term projects. Let me put something in this blank slate. Magic detector. Trips when it detects magical presence. I know I spelled this wrong, but I'm just work with me. Within, I'll say range. We don't have to be very specific.
I figure it's like the size of an average room. So, like, if you were trying to cover an auditorium, it'd take like 4 to 6 of them.
Let's say 15 feet.
Yeah, that sounds like about.
Benefit. Well, the benefits explained. Current progress. You're done. Okay, so now you actually have that. So that's your downtime action. DM.
I do have 3 actions during this, thanks to the power of efficiency and emotion.
Yep. So your because Bobby is which is it? The agent that has it, or the
Yeah,
leader?
the agent has it. It's the purple one under the agent.
Okay. Let me. Where are Bobby? There you are. Efficiency and motion. Due to your careful planning, you may give yourself or another crew member +1 downtime activity during down. So.
Oh me. 3 trainings of physical.
Okay.
I have 7 XP there.
Okay. So you had 7, or you added 7 already?
It was 4, so now it's 7.
Okay. All right. That makes it simple. Torpo.
That means I get a level up.
Yes, it does. Okay, so you added 1 to maneuver.
Yes.
Torpo, so what are your 2 downtime actions?
I guess it's time for Ravia to get in her daily workout.
All right, so where are you placing your XP?
I forget. Does it have to be the character I train for?
I mean, you can do it for the other character. I'm not going to be picky about that.
Just want to be sure. Yeah. So okay.
Oh, actually, this reminds me of one thing that I was planning on doing. Because we changed up how the training works, and I forgot to do a thing for it. You know how it lists how you have action roll boosts? You have to pick one. You don't get all 3. So I need to figure out a way to denote that. How about so I take it, Torpo, that you would want for Aravia's athletic training, would you want her to focus on strike?
Yeah.
Let's just let's just strike through it for the moment. Just some sort of quick indicator, or you can just, I don't know, increase the size of the text. There we go. I'm sure I could figure out some other more elegant way, but that works for me. So okay, you distributed your 2 XP.
Yep.
Okay. So there is your downtime actions. So, what do you want to do next?
Well, like we said, go to the address.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like the best spot.
Look, now that Aravia's had her workout and is ready to get going, less ornery, and it's time to go.
All right. So, by the way, where is Bobby Burger Place? Is that in like Hazeltown or one of the like side towns, or is it in the big city? Okay, it's in the big city.
All 3 of them are, all his businesses are in the Steinwald.
Okay. What about Aravia's place? Is that in? Did we establish if that was in the city or if it was in one of the towns?
Aravia lives with Elmas.
And I think Elmas is lives within walking distance to the college.
Okay, so you're in the city. Okay, so
yes,
you take a train, or does Bobby? Because Bobby has probably some sort of. Did you say you had like a van or something?
A car. You
Okay,
remember his wood paneled car?
Oh right, yes. So you drive to what is effectively one of the suburbs or not one of the suburbs, like a residential area that has like the housing. It's what I would say like standard housing.
Home to a bunch of people we no longer know.
Yes. And you just come up to address it. Doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary. And you go up to the house that's specified, and you how do you approach?
Ring the doorbell.
Okay. So you ring the doorbell. And you're moving inside, and it comes into someone comes to the door, and because again, forgot. Oh, who do I want to have as an actor? Who do I want to have portray this character for visual sake? Just to add to the standard ass guy that this looks like here. Actually, I just realized we have a room for this, but yeah, he open the door is an incredibly unassuming looking man, like human man in his somewhere in his 30s, brown slick back hair, just a dude.
Man looks like he runs a game show.
Yeah.
Mike Brady looking ass.
Oh, it's Robert Reed.
Yes, I know.
For the record, I just put in a picture of Robert Reed, actor of Mike Brady.
Bobby takes one look at the man and says, "Well, hi, Mike. It's Carol home."
He pulls out a shotgun and kills all of you instantly. No. And so he kind of just looks at you and like, may I help you?
I sure hope so. I come, you and I have a mutual friend, a friend that likes to balance the scales.
He kind of looks at you and is like, he kind of looks like he kind of understands where you're going, but kind of isn't quite sure why you would be here. So it's like, I might know what you're talking about. Can you, by chance, explain why you're here?
I can, but you don't want me to do this on the street. Bobby kind of motions for him to move away so they can come inside.
He just kind of looks at us like, he kind of does the thing. I was like, well, I guess why not? And he just kind of, please come in. So
Bobby
he lets
steps
you in.
inside.
House looks fairly standard. Nothing quite out of the ordinary. It's a like 2-bedroom, like 2-bed, 2-bath standard house. A decor looks what would be of the early 70s.
Time to start exploring the place. I didn't know that Robert Reed was gay.
Yes,
I did.
Yeah, because that's he was an unfortunate casualty of the AIDS crisis.
Yep.
Yes.
Fun little aside.
As you're walking, it's all as you're walking inside, it is actually a fairly like you kind of like scope the place out. So as you're walking in, going towards the living room, it looks like it's not like super clean, but it's like it is kept up. Like you can tell they weren't exactly expecting company, but it's also not dirty by any means.
Nice place you got here.
Is it?
Well, folks, now that I have you inside, can you by chance explain why the friend who might balance the scales might have sent you?
Elysium.
He kind of looks and he kind of like thinking this, and he just kind of has a look of like, oh god.
You're spooking Libra with how you're acting.
Oh, wait,
They
are we
asked
dealing with
me
drugs?
and my associates here to find out what's going on.
Fuck, we're dealing with drugs. God damn.
He just kind of looks is like, okay, I shouldn't have mentioned anything, but okay. So yes, I take it I might have mentioned it to God, I don't know who it was, but I'm gonna Libra, of course. All right. Yeah, this is I'm not 100% in because they're trying not to keep me into it. Whoever's responsible for this is, I'm not exactly 100% certain, but this sounds like it's either going to be like just he's kind of like looking for the thing because has the look of like someone who is trying to figure out a way to kind of explain this. And it just kind of pauses. Okay, so from what I've gathered, this is something that I kind of mentioned something that I've noticed offhand. This is kind of something that is a little bit of secondhand information, not something that any of someone's talked to me about, but it's something that I've noticed some people being very kind of secretive about. And I've kind of maybe overheard some discussions because really spooking out a handful of people. And basically, what I kind of heard through the grapevine is that this is something that some of the members, someone at Cassiopeia, had access. I don't know what this Elysium thing is. I know that it's a thing. They had access to it, but then they lost it, and they're kind of freaking out about trying to get it back.
So is it drugs? Because it sounds like drugs.
Judging by what I mean, if he just kind of looks as like, I am pretty certain it's not drugs. It kind of didn't sound like it because it just, you wouldn't quite lose like that. We don't like, I'm pretty sure we're not dealing with any sort of like, we mostly just deal with like the preparation and we don't deal with manufacturing. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, yes. That means you're the boring end.
Yeah, we are like, we kind of keep our hands off that.
So is this wizard shit then?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what this is. What I've gathered is it's something that we were holding on to for another group, or someone in our group was holding on to it, and then something happened, and they're no longer in possession of it. It was something that I can tell you one thing, and it was based on where they were saying they were keeping it. I don't think it's anything big. Like I don't think we're looking for like a package. We're looking for something that's well, if we're talking about something smaller than a bread box.
Okay, but that's a lot of things. Any other details?
I'm trying to think. Especially trying to think if they got they got you looking into it.
Look, is it magic? Is it wizard shit?
I'm just trying to think about. I know they mentioned that Centaurus was looking into it. So I know that that's the group that's also involved in which.
Hold on, pause. Out of character. Which
Yep.
group is this guy a part of?
So this
talked
guy is
about
part of Cassiopeia.
Okay, I was confused because he kept talking about both Cassiopeia and Centaurus as like not
So-
something he was part of.
So he is a member of Cassiopeia. He is a treasurer for them. Centaurus is a friendly group.
All right.
For the record, because this is something that actually I should explain for folks at home who have not been, who are not here for the past stuff. There is a number of, which actually I think we did talk about last time slightly, was that there's a number of groups that are named after constellations. They all have some sort of, well, they all do some sort of weird shit, for lack of a better, to really get down to it. Cassiopeia is effectively it's a cult that tries to reach higher beings through drugs. Centaurus is another group that is affiliated with Cassiopeia in their kind of group, and they are effectively trying to build. They're effectively trying to build structures for holding spirits that gives them a vessel that they can communicate with, or they can interact with our world. It's a lot of roboticism.
Okay. Quick question. How forceful are they about this?
They are not using them as like any sort of like. They're not building battle bots.
They're not
As
Orion.
more asking like on a consent end, but yeah.
Well, if they can get it, that's fine. They try and be respectful, although if something falls off the back of a truck, so to speak, they'll try and do something with it. They try is how I describe it.
Okay. So I don't need to bust heads yet.
No, but if they can't communicate and they're not getting electrocuted in the process, they'll still probably go on with it.
Oh, good.
Wonderful.
Anyway, Bobby takes out a cigar and lights it up and says, "All right, where was it stolen from?"
So that's not where I'm 100% certain of.
Can you tell me who knows?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think about who would be the best person to talk to because again, no one's really said exactly who got it, or who's specifically responsible. Just that they are worried about potential issues that if this doesn't get recovered, about friction between, I would imagine, Centaurus and Cassiopeia, but I am getting mixed signals on whether or not there's other groups. So I'm trying to think about who to send, because I have not really investigated this further, because really this is all stuff that I've heard secondhand, that I've mentioned that I just heard that some of the people were concerned. But I personally have not looked into it outside of my deal. Now, I could potentially give you names, but I'm just trying to think about who would be the best person to give it to you.
Why don't you just give me all of them and I'll decide?
Well, we're talking about a list of potentially like dozens of names. So I'm
That's
just
not
trying
a
to.
problem.
Look, I know how to use Excel.
Well, here's the thing: is that you just kind of pause it for a moment. It's the kind of thing that I don't want to cause a full-blown like ask everyone about it, because that might exaggerate the problem. So I'm trying to get you directly to an answer as quickly as possible.
Friends, you're already at that stage. Otherwise, Libra wouldn't have gone to get some outside help. He says, pointing at himself and Elmas and Aravia.
I suppose, but he just kind of sits for a moment, and then he goes over and grabs a notepad and starts writing. And then he thinks about it for a second. Actually, how about this? What if I get you a meeting with the people that I've heard talk about it?
Sure.
I mean, that's the idea, ain't it?
So rather than giving them I don't want the entire organization to be potentially shouting down trees and causing chaos about something that might not be that big of a deal. So I can get you in discussion with like maybe 4 or 5 of them, and we can all talk as a group and potentially get something done.
That's what you think is best.
So, do you have a place where I can contact, or like, what's a good place where I can get in contact so we can set up this meeting?
Oh, Bobby whips out one of his business cards and slaps it in this guy's hand.
He takes a look at it and is like, "Do I? Okay, I'll, I guess, get in contact with you."
Of course.
Okay, I will set up a meeting, and now that I know people are looking into it, I'll try to make this sooner rather than later, and I will get back to you so that we can get this thing sorted out.
Thanks, Bell.
Yes, I look forward to your call.
Please, the sooner the fucking better.
Okay. Then he just kind of is like, "Well, I'll get a hold of this," and he kind of puts hand towards it, or like hand towards the door. It's like, "Do you have any other business?"
No, I think I'm good. How about you, ladies?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Got any snacks?
He kind of says, "Well, I was actually just about on my way to go to the grocery store, so no, I don't."
Oh, God. Why did he even come here then? Okay. Ravi just fucking leaves out the door in a huff.
Bobby tips his hat and follows.
Yeah, well, good job, pal. You survived your house being destroyed.
Okay, so there's that.
I did it.
Oh, hold on.
One more. So once they're back in the car, Bobby just shakes his head and says, "Well, that was like pulling teeth."
Yeah, that seems like something's gonna. That seems like we got a lot that they don't want to tell us, which means this is gonna get painful.
Indeed. He reaches into the glove box and pulls out an envelope that has half of the money that Merrill had given him. He takes half of that, gives one of it to Elmas and the other to Aravia.
Thank you.
Ravi just
Well,
stashes
you'll
it
get
in
the
her back
rest once we're
pocket.
done.
Fucking.
In the meantime, since I don't know how helpful that meeting is going to be, can the
It
two
was-
of you hit the streets and try to find out what you can about Elysium?
Yeah, I got nothing fucking better to do.
Sure.
Okay, so once you're done with that, or once you what exactly are you planning on doing?
I mean, I plan on asking around about Elysia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll search online, see. Well, yeah, we have the internet or the equivalent, so yeah, just see
You
if,
have a form of early internet.
yeah,
You at
see
least
if,
have access to Usenet.
yeah, look what
Oh,
Usenet
gross.
for the what the local area is saying, see what anything is.
I mean, we are by the college, so that checks out, yeah.
So I will say, as you go ahead and ask people on the street, they don't know anything about anything called Elysium.
Bobby was going to hit up the car wash.
Yeah, I was gonna
Well, I
check
was saying
around.
for those two.
Oh no, I was
Right.
gonna check around some construction sites I
Okay.
worked.
If you have some specific in mind, then
Oh, just seeing if the working man knows.
not really. And
Damn.
by not really, I mean they don't at all.
Like, is that or asking around bars? It's a little too early for the bars.
Okay.
Anyway, Bobby heads to the car wash, where once he gets there, someone gets in the back seat. Someone, since this is where we're restarting, is Jonesy. He's one of his superiors in the consortium.
All right. What you got for me this time?
Need any information on Elysium related to Centaurus and Cassiopeia?
Elysium doesn't sound like I can take a look into it. Doesn't really. Do you know any specific about what this thing is?
No, Libra asked us to help, and they don't know anything. We talked to someone in Cassiopeia, and they were quite unhelpful. I'm supposed to have a meeting later that might be helpful, but we'll see.
All right. Elysium. I know they named their stuff off of it's all Greek like theme naming for their stuff. I know their drugs are named after all sorts of gods and stuff. So it fits with their naming, but I don't know what they call Elysium.
Well, they're insisting it's not one of the drugs, and apparently it's the size of a breadbasket.
Huh. So name it something if it's not a drug. I don't know what's Cassiopeia, but they said that Centaurus might be involved.
Yes, apparently it was their thing, but Cassiopeia was hanging on to it for them.
Okay. Well, just trying to think about what activity we've had with them in the past. Mostly nothing major. Kind of one of the more, like, at most they've been poking noses in places, but a little B&E at the most is not really something that we're super concerned with.
Indeed.
So I don't know what those two places would be getting at. Well, you said you had a meeting? Who are you have a meeting with?
Fuck if I know. Like with everything else, it was very vague. Apparently, it's the people who were closest to the situation.
Well, if it's the folks there that are causing a ruckus, I suppose, well, we might need to get information. We might need to, take a look at those folks. So if you can get some names, maybe we can get some eyes and ears on them.
All right. I'll let you know when I know.
All right.
That Bobby leaves the car wash after Jonesy gets out of the car.
Previous episodes of Hazeltown Story can be found at BeKindRewind.hazel.town or radio.hazel.town. If you would like to know more about the universe and have an interest in video games, you can watch LoloDePuzlo's Journal, our sister show, that can be found at theater.hazel.town or BeKindRewind.hazel.town. If you would like to keep up to date with Lolo, you can follow them at cohost or BlueSky at LoloDePuzlo. There is also a Discord server in which you can potentially catch episodes being recorded live at club.hazel.town. Thank you for listening to Hazeltown Story. I welcome you to come back for more.